What's your biggest regret in life?
Oh, my biggest regret in life?
Yeah.
Biggest regret?
My biggest regret in life?
Yeah. What is the biggest regret in your life?
Oh,
That's the question.
Like I'm a aspiring actor right now, right?
Oh, that's cool.
And I used to be a high school teacher, but I left that behind, moved down here, and it's not going well, right? It's not going great. A lot of rejection, a lot of struggle, and I could think to myself right now, it's like I should have just stayed as a teacher, right? Make a stable income instead of coming down here, working minimum wage. I'm 31. My coworkers are like 18, 19, because to be an actor, you got to have jobs that you can kind of it's like part-time stuff. Right?
Yeah.
So I could look at this. Anyone could look at this career I'm in right now and say, I think you made a mistake. But who's to say that maybe 5 years down the road, this acting thing pops off and I become something.
Yeah.
Then it's not a regret anymore, right? So it's not like a Hollywood story all the time. Most of the time, you don't just make it right from the beginning. So it's gonna seem like a regret. Every morning, every night, I think to myself, I'm too old to make it. It's like I'm not the 1% that's gonna pull off this crazy thing, but all the people who have made it, they thought that too. The only thing I can say confidently to everybody is that you got to find your own answer, right? Like I said before, I'm an aspiring actor. I took a lot of classes, all these things, and whatever sport or passion or dream or hobby you have, and if you take classes and you have a teacher or a mentor, they're going to tell you got to do it this way, or you got to do it with someone else. They say you got to do it this way. Every great actor does this. Every great athlete does this, right? And I think even with religion, for example, right? Every great follower or believer, you got to think and live like this. But I think everyone has their own special path that they got to go on that fits them. But a lot of people grow up being told what the right answer is, right? Being told what the right path is, and sometimes it feels like you're not on the right thing, but you just keep telling yourself, no, but they told me this is how you do it. I believe that you haven't found your right path. So you can hear a lot of the correct answers from everyone around you, but at the end of the day, it's just a core tenet in my heart that we're all unique individuals. Even with acting, one of the greatest actors, Meisner, he wrote a book, and in the book, the first page, he says, you got to find your own way to do it. Whatever way fits you best, however you can bring out the character, to bring out the acting, use that way. When you go to classes, they'll tell you, use this method, use that method. Right? You gotta find your own method. When I was a teacher, I had students, they said, this one kid, he wanted to be a nurse because his mom wanted to be a nurse. I said, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
He said, I want to be a cook, I want to be a chef. But that's not gonna make my parents proud. I said, at the end of the day, you gotta live your whole life, right? So being a nurse, you have to go through that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Your parents can be happy when you become that, but at the end of the day, you have to shoulder all that pain and suffering. For something that doesn't even make you fulfilled or happy.
What's your biggest regret in life?
Oh, my biggest regret in life?
Yeah.
As it relates to personal or work? Let's do work. So I would say as it relates to work, it's not taking risks early on and being very assertive and aggressive in what I wanted to do. I think early on in my career, I probably deferred a lot and didn't share. I had thoughts in my head that I didn't share with leadership and with those in charge because I was too insecure in my knowledge. But I feel like if I had shared those ideas, it probably could have helped me in my career. I've been blessed in that I've had a very fortunate career and that I've been able to progress and have had a lot of success. Who knows where I would have been if I had done some of those things. But for me, it's more of what impact could I have had to the people that I work with or the organization as opposed to where I'd be in my career. Because again, I've been very fortunate that I've had the opportunity to progress regardless of that. But just thinking back, and there's a number of meetings and strategy sessions that I've been involved in where I didn't speak up and didn't share my voice. Because oftentimes there's those people in meetings that have a very powerful voice and they speak up and like by nature I'm more introverted. So I tend to not want to speak up. And so for me as a lead, I'm a bit of management leadership now. I'm very intentional in making sure that I'm asking people in the room who may be like me back early in my career to make sure they have a voice. So I ask them questions. So those that tend to have a very loud voice in the room aren't just dominating the conversation.
Do you want to share like how were you able to transition from this like introverted guy?
Part of it is I've gone through these various like personality trainings, like DISC training and all these other trainings where I think it's important you recognize where you're strong and what your strengths are, but then what your weaknesses are as well. The introvert nature of what I have is something that I'm aware of. On the flip side, I do tend to have a very like dominating kind of characteristic as well. And so understanding where your personal traits are and then pivoting, knowing that I still would love to dominate a conversation.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm still quiet as an introvert. So how do I balance these things? And so in my head, I recognize what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, and then how can I make sure that I'm always cognizant of that, especially when I'm working with people who have different personality traits, because I may think one way and this person may think another way, and although they may not align, it's just because we view the world differently. And so being cognizant of other people's worldview, other people's strengths and weaknesses, and the fact that I may want to move quickly, but someone who's very analytical, very thoughtful, may want to take some time and analyze something, that's not a bad thing. It's just reconciling those two things. So many CEOs say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And so those people who think that they know it all and they can't learn from other people, I think they're missing a lot, because there's always something that one person could be missing. They're missing a risk. They're missing some perspective.
Yeah.
And so I think the more people we have, the more different perspectives we have, the better we all can be.
My biggest regret in life is not investing my money when I was in my 20s, because by now with the compounding interest, I would have had more investment money than I do have now. Or buying property in my 20s when I contemplated it, because the interest rates were low and the costs of properties were so much lower. And so same thing with appreciation and everything over time, in like 2 decades, I would have already had more equity. The sooner you do it, the better, because the time is gonna go by itself, and your investments will grow.
What kind of business do you own?
It's actually a beauty studio in Westwood. So I've been self-employed for 10 years and just love learning and growing.
So you're like an entrepreneur.
Kind of,
You have
yeah.
your own business.
Yeah, on a very, very small scale, yes.
Oh, that's cool.
But it takes a lot to learn, and as you learn and as you grow, you look back and you regret on all of the time that you have wasted on not investing. So, yeah.
We're both actually interested in entrepreneurship.
It's a very tough journey. It requires a lot of dedication, a lot of tolerance for discomfort, because when your friends are going to be inviting you on trips and parties, you may have your business problems that are very time sensitive, and you have to resolve them and find solutions right there and then. So it's a commitment, and but it could also be a very rewarding journey. So it depends. It depends on the industry. It depends on your personality, what you like, but it could be a fun and rewarding journey. I worked in hospitality industry before I switched into beauty, but because I do enjoy creative, artistic side, so beauty kind of gave me both, structure and it's like an intellectual challenge, but also like an artistic and creative outlet. If I did start all over again, if I did it in my 30s, I'm 40 by the way, I would maybe still I would have chosen an entrepreneurial path, but maybe I would have chosen a different industry, because again, service industries are very difficult to manage. The return on investment is kind of lower. So yeah, maybe tech. You as younger people, yes, I would probably recommend doing something like that, tech and some other forms of entrepreneurship. When you work for yourself, technically you're always working. Today's my day off, but I kept answering clients' text messages, helping them reschedule and talking about services. So on average, my designated days off are Sunday and Monday. I work Tuesday through Saturday, usually like maybe 10 to 12 days, 12 hours a day. So roughly like 50 to 60 hours a week. And there's a lot of hours that you are not technically getting paid for because again, like today on my day off, I'm not getting paid for all of this time. So it's like a very interesting schedule.
Yeah. It's like you need to constantly be concerned about the business.
Yeah.
And it's not always like a stable
Yes.
feedback.
Exactly. But it's great because it keeps you on your toes and it always keeps you in this like problem solving mode and you're always on top of your game. It kind of like elevates your, I don't know, how would I say it? Maybe like executive functioning abilities when you like have to be great with operations. And then all of that stuff starts trickling into like your life skills and stuff. And you know, like, I don't know, even littlest problems, you're like, okay, you know, like, it's not a big deal, because then like your entire perspective shifts. You just don't get bothered by like little problems, or you find solutions real quick, or you look at things from like different angles, because, you know, again, it benefits your business when you assess the problems and try to pick the best possible solution. So I think like it's a great life skill in general too. Like step up your like, I don't know, like, executive functioning. So it's great. Yeah. I would also recommend creating very good partnerships and relationships. Even if you are like in different industries, it's good to bounce each other ideas off of each other. It's good to just like vent sometimes, or have that like support. So yeah, I make a strong emphasis on like interpersonal relationships and having network of friends and close people who, you know, like inspire you, support you emotionally. So that's community is important thing.
What is your deepest regret in life?
I'm retired military. I'm just starting to get out and travel and see different things. I wish I would have started that earlier in life. You can travel by yourself, but if you travel, you want to do things with your family. You want to expose your kids to different things in life. Military was a way out for me. I grew up poor in the projects, so I knew early on that I would be joining the military. So I joined the military. I bought my house through the military. I got my degree, no student loans. So the military is a way out if you know how to take advantage of it. It's not for everybody, but hey, it worked out fine for me.
So you came a long way. What was it like in the project?
It's just difficult, you know, hard times, drugs, growing up in the project. It teaches you how to be mentally focused. So, you know, those type of things. Embrace life, you know, it's too much, my personal fear is too much racism. I only see one color, I do. I just wish people understand that, hey, we all put on this earth, we only have a certain amount of time to live, enjoy it, and treat each other with respect, you know.
So what kind of racism have you encountered?
Well, I was born in Alabama, so I see a lot of racism toward blacks in the state of Alabama, that type of thing. Growing up. But again, I told you I joined the military. So when I joined the military, I got exposed to other cultures, other races. And when you're in the military, you have to learn how to work with everybody. Because it's going to be Mexican, blacks, white, red, whatever, you know. You all have to be able to work along. That's what makes the military so successful. Everybody can work together for a common goal.
What is the biggest regret of your life?
I wish I would have cared more when I was in school. I got a degree in physics, and I was going to go get my doctorate, and I decided not to, and joined the Army instead, and hurt myself, broke my back and my neck. Well, I broke the, you know, I don't know if you know, on your spine, like, they're called spinous processes. They're like little wing things looking. So on my neck, I broke one of those. Obviously didn't paralyze me, but I broke my lower back, but that's better now. I was actually able to walk, so it wasn't too bad, but it took me years to, you know, get it right. Now I work in the entertainment business, so it works out fine, but still a part of me wishes I was, you know, doing physics.
How's your experience with the entertainment industry here?
You gotta be willing to accept a lot of rejection. I live in Istanbul, Turkey right now, so I've been working mostly out of there. It's easier there than it is here. So they film a lot of stuff for American audiences, and they have a lot of Americans. So
Oh, so you do acting?
yeah, well, I started out as a writer, but when I moved to Turkey, a friend of mine convinced me to go do some acting. So I said, all right. I've been in some like not very low budget Eastern European movies, but one of them I don't think it's come out yet. But mostly I do, those stupid vertical drama things. Done a lot of those. But
So what have you learned like exactly from being around like foreign people and that kind of thing?
Politics don't matter. Don't argue politics because it doesn't change anything. It just stresses you out.
Yeah, I can agree.
I mean, you can have a healthy discussion. There's
Yeah.
always going to be people that want to argue about things. And there's no right answer, and kind of everything is so messed up, and not just everywhere, So it's like I try and just be nice to people and just be friendly. I think a lot of people, powers that be, want us to not like each other, and so the best thing we can do is just be nice to each other. We're not going to agree on everything, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
think we agree on most things, the important things anyways. Just chill out, man. Take it easy.
What is your biggest regret in life?
So biggest regret in life? I don't know. If I go back in time, would I do some of the things differently? Probably. If you ask me what's my biggest wish, is I wish I know what I know now, but 10 years younger. I've been running since 2010. I mean, I ran before, but when it comes to running as a lifestyle, I kind of get started in 2010. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for coming. As long as I can still run, I'm gonna keep running. If you can maintain 3 days running a week, then I say you're making progress. I think before you know, your body will push you. So some people, the body will push them to run more, and some people they say, okay, 3 days is enough. So it depends on who you are. If you have to travel to join a run club, then you're less encouraged to do so because it requires you to pay an effort tax.
Yeah.
So it's like if you have to go somewhere to join a run club, then it's almost like you're paying a tax to join the run club. But if there's one nearby, then it's the path of least resistance, right? So it makes it easy to join. So it takes away all the other variables. I wish I understand that, hey, this world is a little different, right? And this world is not that exact. And there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong answer. The answer that you choose at the time is the right answer. Different time you might choose a different answer, but based on what you know at the time, based on what your needs are at the time, that's the best choice they can make.
Hey, this has been such a blessing to have the opportunity. Thank you guys so much, man. I was just sitting here eating a sandwich.